match, and Moore's got a goal. It's Wales 1, Switzerland 1, and the first opportunity he's got in this second half to head home, he's done it, and the Wales crowd have gone berserk in Baku. It's game on.
Brilliant goal from Wales there. Kiefer Moore, that man, he's just there, number 9 sort of player in the box. He's waiting for any sort of cross that he can leap onto. He's got that chance on his header, and he's found the bottom left-hand corner. He's peeled off his man Zakaria, the substitute. What a moment for Wales, the level.
Really is a good header, that, isn't it? It really is. And Sommer's at full stretch. He can't get there. That's your point, Matt. He's not tall enough. You mentioned it in the first half in terms of a stretch. There's the fine margins in terms of getting down to it, but I don't think even a taller keeper's going to get to that header. It's crisp, enough curl on it, and we really do have an exciting last 15 minutes. Wales 1, Switzerland 1, and it's thanks to the head of Kiefer Moore that Wales have got a goal back. He celebrates, the Wales fans have gone berserk, and it really is game on now in Baku, because now going forward they've got a real fight on their hands. Switzerland, they've already gone defensively, they've taken Zakaria off, but the goal came from a corner, it was taken short, the ball was whipped into the far post, and Moore managed to head it into the far corner. And it's a really good moment, a real surprising change, because Dan James has been brought off for David Brooks. He looks absolutely stunned that he's leaving the field of play. A different style though for Wales. They have 15 minutes to go and get a winner. Can Switzerland go and snatch one as well in Baku? Game on.
Yeah, as you say, Tom, Dan James is as confused as anyone inside the Baku Olympic Stadium. He's aghast as to why he's come off, but Bale has now switched to the left-hand side and David Brooks has gone to the right, the substitute, the Bournemouth man. Maybe this is a moment that Wales can try and stay on that front foot. We said that Switzerland were getting sucked back into their own goal. Kiefer Moore has done the job of finding the back of that net, and I feel as if now Wales on the front foot with that substitution. I know Dan James has gone off, but you never know, David Brooks could be the man to open things up.
I mean, it's surprising, I must admit, because it's the pace. Now Gareth Bale looks to have come to the left, whether it's just temporal on a temporary basis, but not a bad return for Moore. 3 attempts at goal, 2 on target, 1 goal. He's shown he can be a real clinical player. He's having to readjust the headband for an earlier clash of heads. Always good, I think. Old school feel to it when a centre forward has a headband on and then scores. Reminds me as when I was a kid and I watched Alan Shearer do it constantly. But he does have that rough and tough style of play as Bale tries to get in behind him, Babu. So it looks as if Bale's gone left to try and help out Moore. Brooks might have stayed on the right hand side, but don't rule out Switzerland just yet. They've still got players that can get a goal. Here is one of them in Rodriguez. He's going to try and swing it across. He's done so, looking for Mbolo. Nobody gets it in a Welsh shirt. It'll fall towards Zakaria. Right footed cross towards the far post, and Mbolo heads it. He's actually kept it in play, and this game is going to be stopped for offside, and Mbolo was offside at the far post. We don't have to count that chance on the notes, but that's what Wales can't do, Matt, is switch off. This is a team in Switzerland that have been at a number of tournaments. It's a header where he's trying to come back across goal. He's flagged offside, quite fortunately for Wales' point of view, because just for a second they seem to have taken their foot off the gas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wales have done well to come back into this game, but I feel as if Switzerland, as I said, they've brought it onto themselves. As soon as Wales have scored, they've gone back on the front foot. They've instantly created a chance. Yes, Mbolo is offside, but they did create a chance nonetheless. Whereas before that, for that sort of 5 to 7 minute spell after Zakaria came onto the field, they were just sat back and asking Wales to come onto them. It was a real interesting and unusual switch that Petkovic made, that bringing Zakaria on, it just completely wiped out their momentum.
Yeah, Davis to swing the ball in, looking for more. It's the right idea. He's put too much on it, but across to the far post, it's just trickled out of play for a goal kick. Moore's thumbs up. He's heading in the right direction for Wales. He's such a spearhead of this attack. It was Ramsey's cross, and that's what the quality it brings. I think it might have been actually, is it Morel's cross?
I think it was Joe Morel, yes.
I just said Ramsey before then noticing Ramsey was in behind Morel. So, well, that for me just sums up the I guess confidence in this team, because Joe Morel's barely done anything all game. He's been working hard, but in terms of things for me and you to notice, Matt, he's been quiet, and there he comes, picks out an assist. Just a shame for Wales' point of view that it was at the opposite end to their little nucleus of fans that have gathered, as now Bale tries to get him behind. Quite incredible defensive work from Elvedi though, because if he doesn't get that touch to the ball, Gareth Bale's away. And at the other end of things, the same for Mepham. who's holding off a player who's clipping away at the ankles. That could be a yellow card for me. Freud has just got no attempt to win the ball and just kicked out at Mepe, who's slightly embarrassed him, winning the ball several times, and I think he's let the referee know he's not happy. He tries to nibble him once, goes for the second and takes the boot down the back of the ankles. I'd card him for that.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit naughty there from Freud. I have to say, it looked slightly intentional, didn't it? The way he just stood on the back of his heel there. Don't know whether he's meant to hurt him so much, but just annoy him and keep nibbling at him. It's yeah, potentially could have picked up a yellow.
Now a shot's going to come in from Davis, left-footed. Oh, he drills it well wide and well over the top. He doesn't get his bearings right, and perhaps that's what he wants to try and stay away from. When the shooting boots, does he want to take a touch and cross it in? Maybe he didn't think he had enough options, but for now, Wales, the team that are certainly in the ascendancy and on top. Up towards Embolo. Free kick given here against Wales. Embolo's not happy at something in back play. Switzerland will bring it out from the back. Would you, if you were a Wales fan though, Matt, you couldn't be anything but proud really for today. You've had to ride it out again. Expectation levels are not as high as some of the other home nations. We know which one in particular, but in terms of sticking together as a unit, I don't think there'll be many Welsh people not proud as punch this afternoon at this. Even if the result doesn't go their way, they've given everything they've got for the cause. Yeah,
I completely agree with you. I mean, coming into the game, a lot of people were saying that this was a potential must-win for Wales. I didn't subscribe to that point of view because Switzerland are such a confident team coming into this tournament, 13th in the FIFA rankings. They've won their last 6 games. Wales have put in a shift today, and coming from behind against Switzerland, it's a good graft.
Yeah, ball into Switzerland, shot comes in, it's deflected. Important block that for Wales at the far post. Now they want to try and get this ball away. There's a chance for Bale to switch the play down the line. He's done really well to pick out Ramsey, who needs to try and, I was going to say one more touch inside, and he was away. That's the second time in this last few minutes that Elvedi has made an incredibly important tackle when Wales are on the attack. It's very warm in Baku. The players are coming across to get some drinks. Bale's one of them. Referee is just going to try and urge Wales to hurry up because Moore, Bale and a few more are coming to get some light refreshments to try and help them out. It's supposed to be as high as 28 degrees, I believe, when England take on Croatia on Sunday afternoon, which of course would be a real beautiful moment if the stadium could be full. Do the best they can, the fans that are in attendance. It's going to be a great atmosphere across the weekend as the games come thick and fast. As a reminder, this is the first of 3 this afternoon. Wales 1, Switzerland 1 at present. And the other games that we get this afternoon are Denmark and Finland, as well as Belgium versus Russia, which I think has got the potential to be another good game as well, with Russia hoping to throw a real surprise there. The Wales fans swinging their anthems. They're trying to give their team something to smile about. Bale ready to take a long throw. Ben Davies left it for him. Moore is just getting some instructions from a teammate or two. Bale, a bit of an unorthodox situation. He pings the ball into the box. It's headed away. It'll fall to the edge of the box for Morel, who swings his right foot through it. It takes a deflection back to Mepham, and he will now pick up the pieces. Mepham plays the ball inside. It's a bit sloppy, that from Brooks, who's not really done anything on the attack for Wales. Dan James, I'm sure, is sat there still perplexed as to why he's come off, but there is Brooks with Bale. A 1-2 is worked. Brooks across the face of goal. It's a beautiful ball. Oh, it's just in front of a Wales shirt at the back post, and it's the shirt of Aaron Ramsey. 82.5 minutes gone. Wales 1, Switzerland 1. That'd have been the move of the match, Matt.
Absolutely brilliant play between Brooks and Bale. The 2 left-footed players on that left wing. It just allows that whipped ball to come in, doesn't it? Brooks drifting over to this near side. Dan James possibly wouldn't have been able to play the same ball on his weaker foot. Great ball from Brooks. It's just ever so close. It had an air of Gascoigne, didn't it, that one? Just clamouring at the back post.
Yeah, it was inches, really. And as you say, it's a great point about Brooks, just offering a different dimension. Want to see him get more involved, as Rodon's got a big hold on the shirt of Zakaria, and now that's an attempted free kick from Rodon, who's just thrown himself in front. That's Davis, in fact. I think Rodon's pretty lucky for me. It was right in front of the linesman. I think the only thing that saved it is that Zakaria isn't actually moaning too much at the officials, but he certainly had a good hold on that shirt, as we are going to get another change here for Switzerland. And It is an option that they've tried to go before. The first sub hasn't really worked in their favour. This one is Gavranovic, who's going to try and come on. Number 19 shirt is ready, and it's for Seferovic, and that's another player, Matt. Let's be honest, in the first half, if I'd have said to you at 40 minutes, the first two players off would be Shaqiri and Seferovic, I'm sure you'd have laughed at me, to be honest.
Yeah, they were two of the most influential players, weren't they, in the first half? But just 1 point of note, Mario Gavranovic picked up just a hat-trick against Liechtenstein in the last game, so a man in full confidence. Maybe his manager trusts him to find a late goal with Seferovic tiring.
Yeah, just the hat-trick,
Just the 3 goals.
I'm sure I'd absolutely love to do that myself, to be honest. We wait to see what Switzerland can do here. That's a lazy ball. Somehow Switzerland get away with it. It was from Xhaka. Pings the ball back inside. I actually think Xhaka's was on the right wavelength. His teammate just moved a bit flat-footed. It eventually come off for them. Cher pings it left. Rodriguez has been quiet second half. Yeah, now a chance for Mbolo, who's been the shining light in a Switzerland shirt. Xhaka, ball played into the box. Cher with a really unorthodox flick over the top. Shot comes in, it's in the back of the net. Switzerland are appealing, they've scored. Have the offside flag stayed down? I think it has. And Gavranovic has come on, and within, 45 seconds, has fired Switzerland into a 2-1 lead. And the look across the line suggested for me that he thought he was off. We're going to wait here, Matt, for potential VAR check to see something can happen. But Wales almost looked shell-shocked that he managed to get in behind. And where has this come from? Wales 1, Switzerland 2. I think he's offside.
He's definitely offside. Looking back at that, unless you class the arm of Chris Mepper as playing him on, he's definitely offside. It was a really poor flick on the edge of the box, wasn't it? But a good header from Mbolo. Gavranovic on his toes like a number 9 should be. Sticks it in the back of the net, but surely this one's going to be pulled back. It looked completely off to me, as you said, Tom.
But we will wait for it. Confusing thing, as I did say in the first half, is that Switzerland do wear red. So some of their fans have gone wild, and there's me thinking, why are Wales fans celebrating? The goal check is now being done. The referee is just communicating to the players. So we're 85 minutes gone. As it stands, without the goal disallowed, it's Wales 1, Switzerland 2. But we believe, myself, Tom Hill and Matt Guy, believe that this goal should be chalked off for offside. I think that's the rules have been given throughout the Premier League about the daylight and the gap between the players. We've seen the faintest lines being shown to us. Perhaps we're not going to be shown it this time around, maybe to try and keep emotions in check. He's got his head in his hands of Gavranovic because he feels he should have scored. The VAR check is complete, and that it is going to be given as a goal review as offside. Wales will breathe a sigh of relief. The referee's got his arms in the air to at least indicate that. At least we can bring you that update as Wales fans are left celebrating. Into the final minutes in Baku. Wales 1, Switzerland 1, and Wales breathe a sigh of relief because Gavranovic has just come off the bench and within a minute smashed the ball home. It's a great finish with his first touch to beat Ward, who really had given up on the situation. He was too busy putting his arm in the air to say he was offside. Didn't really make too much of an effort with the save, and it's just too much of a run from Gavranovic in the right place. Just set off a split second too early, and eventually a no-goal decision by the VAR review means that it is still Wales 1, Switzerland 1, and it is a real nail-biting finish in Baku.
Well, that's where VAR does work, as you said, Tom. Wales breathing a sigh of relief. It looked as if it was going to be offside just from the way that the movement and the way the attack happened, and it's ever so close. Just looking back, we have now seen we are seeing pictures of how close it was. It's round about probably a foot and a bit that's just straight offside, and the Wales fans are absolutely delirious in the crowd in the Baku Olympic Stadium. Right decision, but Gavranovic did exactly what he needed to from his manager. It's a shame for Switzerland that it won't count.
No, it's a great finish, really was. As I think he was coming back from an offside position there as well, as he's got the boys on a mission to score, goes for goal, and it's dragged wide. Well, Wales again are asking for offside. He really is frustrated at himself because Gavranovic does everything right and
the game, so you probably looking at giving it to one of the attacking players in the Swiss ranks. If that goal had gone in and it would have been an assist from Mbola, then you're talking in the goal and assist, but we'll break off.
Oh, a big chance for Bale. He could have teed up Brooks, but he's gone for goal. And what do you do in that situation, Mike? You've got a flick-on header from Moore. It's going to fall to Bale, albeit on his weaker right foot. He's got one bounce. Does he tee it up to Brooks, or does he have his first shot of the match? It's very tough, isn't it? If you're Wales, if you said to any Welshman before this game, or woman, who do you want to have the one shot that could be a goal? I know which man they'd pick, but here comes Switzerland. Embolo prods it through to Zakaria. He's got Mbabu behind him. He goes near post for a cross, and it's going to be cleared away for a Switzerland corner, and they're not going down without trying to go for a winner.
No, absolutely. I'd just go back to it, seeing as I don't think I answered your question, did I? I think I'm going to give it to Breel Embolo, to be honest. Just the way that he's lit up this second half and completely dominated Wales for that 15-minute spell at the opening of the second half, didn't he?
Thank you. Because I was too engrossed in the back-to-back chances that I forgot to double-check your answer. So at least one of us is aware. And now we're into the last 45 seconds of normal time. I've really enjoyed what has been my first commentary of Euro 2020. I'm sure hopefully me and Matt can get to do the game together soon. The game's coming thick and fast. Now can we get a goal here? Great save from Ward. Over the top corner comes in. And a header from Embolo. He thumps the ball into the air. Does Danny Ward. And he's kept his team in this game on 2 occasions now. The first of which from a flick from Cher. This one from Embolo. Again, he's been marked by Joe Allen. Almost as if Wales have not learned their lessons, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really odd one. You get those the mixture, don't they, of man-to-mark and zonal marking these days, and they often put short players on the men, and then the bigger players attacking the ball. But it's just not worked today for Wales. Yeah,
Rodriguez towards the near post. Good header that time from Wales out of the box. It's not to be Brooks' touch though. Rodriguez gets a second bite of the cherry. Far post. It's going to go out towards Allen. He gets a little header away into stoppage time. Still waiting for the amount of minutes to be given. And Brooks heads behind for another corner. He didn't get a shout from his team. He puts his arm up maybe to suggest, but little grimace. For me, I think that's a safer option. If he tries to head that out and it goes to a Swiss player, he's probably in more trouble than he is just playing it simple. Let's build out and try and hold on. As Wales now under pressure, they've dominated for 20 or so minutes. They've got a goal in that time as Rodriguez now swings in this corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's over the head of Akanji. 5 minutes of stoppage time in Baku. Wales 1, Switzerland 1. So either of these two teams have 5 minutes to go and find a winner. There's now Xhaka on the ball. He plays it in. Moore's not interested in the defensive side of things. Wales are going to try and force the Swiss team back. They're trying to push out from the back as the ball in from Babu. It's headed away. Allen's header was to nobody. There's too many gaps in that midfield for Wales. From midfield to attack, they need somebody to drop short. That ball's gone out for me towards the touchline, but Zakaria's kept it in according to the linesman. And here comes Xhaka, almost lining up a shot, drills the ball in. It could fall here to Moore. Xhaka gets there first. Here now, though, is Morel. He shows too much of it to Mbabu. And now Switzerland with their attack coming forward. Here's a shot for Gavranovic. A save from Ward again. What an effort. And it's a really good fingertip save. I think the flag might have come up again against the substitute Gavranovic, who just constantly causes problems since coming off the bench. What a weapon he's been. But Danny Ward, well, Matt's already given out his man of the match award, but he's just a stride offside. I mean, it's very, very close. The shot comes in, it's deflected, but without that touch, that's 2-1.
Absolutely. I mean, Gavranovic has been so sharp since he came on, hasn't he? He's in such good confidence after that hat-trick against Liechtenstein. But as you say, Danny Ward, what a save once again. He's been crucial for Wales.
Ampadu's going to come on, and Aaron Ramsey turns to applaud the travelling Welsh support. He's got through 92 minutes of football for Wales. He's such a stalwart for them. Ex-Arsenal man, now at Juventus. He's had a stop-start year at the Italian Giants, the old lady. But to come through 90 minutes, he's been speaking to Page throughout the build-up to this tournament to say what he needs to get his fitness fully back to schedule. And it was to have training absence on Thursday. He sat out training to rest his body just to make sure he's ready to go. And it looks as if they've got it perfectly spot on this afternoon. He's got through it. He looked to be unscathed. And it's just a defensive-minded midfielder now, just to shield things. He can also play centre-back, Ampadu, and did so as he was unable to keep Sheffield United in the Premier League while on loan from Chelsea. The clearance away from Ward smacks the equipment of the Welsh bench. I'm sure the kit man's going to be absolutely delighted with that at full time as Akanji goes from left to right. Akanji back to Sommer. There's 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. It is Wales 1, Switzerland 1, and we are still waiting to see if Wales can have one more final attack. We're still waiting to see if Switzerland can not go and get another goal. Down the line they come into the last few moments. Ball in behind. Here's Embolo. He's got Gavranovic in the near post. Shot comes in, and it's going to be cleared away for another Switzerland corner. This game's turned on its head a couple of times in the last 15 minutes, Matt. This time it's Switzerland's turn to be totally dominant.
Yep, Wales on the back foot, and that change bringing on Ampadu is probably looking at that and thinking, right, we're going to have some set pieces against us, and Ampadu's of course a bit taller than Aaron Ramsey and provides that centre half's heading ability from these set pieces.
Rodriguez sets himself, swings the ball into the near post. It's nearly touched by a Switzerland player. It'll fall to the edge of the box for Xhaka. A minute to go. Xhaka's ball into the box. Ward, good hands from Danny Ward, brilliant, and just takes his time, puts his arm up to apologise to a teammate who I'm guessing is bursting forward for an attacking run, and I think the shouts come from Page that a point is better than nothing, and to not give the ball away here against Switzerland unless there's any glaring opportunity. This is going to be a game that Wales try and see out. Ward's reaction suggests he's got that clearance wrong. Moore heads it on to nobody because Wales have decided that defensively this is their tactic. They've got 40 seconds left to hang on because it is a bit of a hang-on case, as now Gareth Bale just tries to unsettle Cher at the back, and he did so for a split second. As Sommer's got it now, are we going to get time for one final throw of the dice from either of these two teams? Akanji thumps it forward at one apiece, looking for the run of Zakaria, who's nailed by 2 or 3 Welsh bodies. Moore gets his body in the way to Gareth Bale. Bale's on his way down the left-hand side. Sure, they're going to take him out here because they're not going to let Bale run free. He goes towards the bar and he's not as quick as he once was. And Elvedi, yet again, with an incredibly timed tackle to deny Gareth Bale, to deny Wales, and keep it at one apiece as he concedes a throw. The 5th minute of stoppage time is up. Gareth Bale on his haunches, puffing out the cheeks. He's tired, of course. It's a warm afternoon in Baku, and the players are going to have to grow into this tournament as Robert Page tries to guide them home. Davis coming across. It's going to be potentially towards Moore to hold it up. In fact, Bale rather sheepishly tries to get it away, but that clearance from Elvedi is the last action of the game. Robert Page and his coaching staff celebrate.